So we're going to cover this question, but mind you, take it for all people everywhere on the planet as we cover this information. If there are, if, and this is based off a previous question that he asked and said, were the Sumerian people the people who created the European races and whatnot? Is that who they are? And I said, no, the Sumerian people back in the days of Abraham and all that, they were black people. As a short answer. So he asked if they were black, which I agree, they historically, and he corrected this to say they can't be the same people that are there now. They are totally different people. And that is correct. The people who inhabit that area, the Levant right now, Mesopotamia, they're different than the people who inhabited it, 6,000 years ago. Even prior to that, the people were different. You don't really get white people, the Scandinavians and Germans that you were speaking of, until 8,000 years ago. And that was the beginning of them becoming white based on the need to absorb radiation from the sun to get vitamin D, because their diet no longer gave them the vitamin D that they needed. I did a whole video about that. Where do white people come from? Somewhere down in all my videos about a month ago. But you got to understand, when it comes to identifying a group of people, it is very difficult unless you take into account all the different migrations, the different trades, the different wars. All these things play a part on what people look like today compared to yesterday and a long time before. Take, for instance, the people who will say that I'm Native American, Native Americans were black, we were already here. There is no already here unless you start at a certain point. Now, if you start at post-Clovian Native Americans, then pre-Clovian just means that the artifacts that were found near Clovis, New Mexico, date back to 8,000 to 9,000 years ago. So if you just look at those people, but if you go even further back, 15,000 years ago, you had an ice age that created that allowed for a migration of East Asian people to come from what is now China, Siberia, that area. These were Asiatic people. Now those people, they've genetically discovered that those people actually are not from the Peking man, but they all come from about 100,000 years ago from East Africa, from migrations that happened during that time frame and before. So determining what a person, a people group look like, there's a lot of factors, complexity that goes in that. We know that South Pacific people came to South America and stayed and integrated with those people. The Chinese, the Japanese, and Samoans all did that with those people over there. We know Africans traded with the people of Mexico and the Caribbean pre-Columbian. So we have to look at all those complexities to understand what people may have looked like at different time frames of the human history.